The 2021 Southern Summer Conference. Social media. Build the brand of you with Todd Upchurch.
It's engagement. We want the people that we have to try to talk to the people that we don't have and try to build our business. At the end of the day, it's a numbers thing for me. I want to do better today than I did yesterday. I want to do better next month than I did the month of last year. So we know we're measuring our target customers. And what is our brand promise to them? My brand promise is to them that I'm going to give everything that they need to learn the sport, and I'm going to make it fun. Period. We're going to make it a fun afternoon or fun hour that we have out there, and then they're going to be dying to come back, and then we add all those little pieces in there. Clarify what you think your brand is evaluating before what others think. What you may think you're doing may not be what other people think you're doing. What marketing materials do you have? Who in here has their own, I mean, everybody has a club brand, but anybody have their own personal brand? Personal logo? Yes? Okay, perfect. It's a good thing to do, to have that. If you don't have a personal logo, you're going to want to write this down. This is called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com. You can go on there today, and you can spend $5, and somebody will design a logo for you. And you'll have it in a couple of days. $10 if you're in a hurry. But $5, you can do that a day. There's all kinds of stuff on there. There's all kinds of stuff on there. They can proofread. They'll build brochures for you. If you're terrible at doing things like that, they'll do that. So they can build all your marketing materials for you for probably $50 that you would pay somebody else to do that. They may be in a completely different time zone, but they'll take care of that for you. I use them quite often. Review the brochures that you put out, the sheets that you have in front of people. Everybody have coolers on their court? What I did when we were first starting with this, and we took on a club as well, I took all my current programs and I laminated them, and I put a couple of zip ties in them, and I put them right beside the water cooler on the fence. So if we were standing there drinking, they would sit there and they could see what we were coming up, what we were trying to do. I know other clubs have them where they slide them into different things like that, but that was one of the first things that we try to do offline to try to get people to look what we're doing online. Compare what you're doing to your online presence, including your business website. Who has their own website that's not their club related? Hey man, all right, we got some work to do. Okay, good. It is important to have, even if you have your own name, even if you have TomDouglas.com, it's important that you own it in case you want to do something in the future with it. That's important to do that. And does everything look the same? From what I do online to what I do offline? Are a lot of the colors the same? Are the logos that I use the same? Are the likenesses that I use the same? That's very, very important. Review your website and your social media data. Everybody that's in here, I know you've got some kind of social media presence. My recommendation, if you're going to try to build a business, is to take whatever's on one. If I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook, that they all are the same. You don't want to be Tom Douglas one on one and Tommy Douglas on another and T Douglas on another. You want to make it easy for people to be able to find that. So the more uniform that you can be, the better. Bill's real good about that. He's real good about being the same on all platforms that you're on there. So that's hugely important. With our data as well, there's a lot of free analytics that you can do on there to see about the things that you post, what kind of engagement that you get. If you ever follow around, where was I? I was at a restaurant a month ago, and they've got this thing called the Heart Walls in Charlotte. And it's a bunch of hearts and everything, and it's got some cool little sayings on it. And there were, I don't know, a dozen teenage girls jockeying for position to be able to get the right lighting and everything. I went to dinner and came back an hour later. They're still there, trying to get the right photo and everything. I'm not saying go to that degree, but I am saying that to make sure that what you're putting out there looks good, because it is important. Do surveys their customers. That's an important thing to do. And it could be just catching them in the door. It could be a one-to-one relationship of saying, hey, how was clinic today? Somebody told me one time, when you hold a clinic, if somebody doesn't say, this is a great clinic today, it probably wasn't. It doesn't have to be the best one every day, but at least one person comes up and says, I got what you said today. I understood what you said. It made a lot of sense to me, and I loved it. So that's surveying your customers in person. You can survey them also through SurveyMonkey. That's another free service that a lot of clubs use. A lot of people use to be able to see what you're saying, if it matches what you're doing at the club. Evaluate your competitors. So in my space, I don't compete with other tennis programs. Nobody else is crazy enough to want to take rackets and balls and nets and everything and put them in a trunk and get them out, set them up in a bus parking lot, and welcome the kids from inside and wait for the buses to get out of the way and teach over these nets, and then get back in there and take the kids in, away on their parents, and go home. I'm not competing with any other tennis pros that do that. Why? I don't know. Because that hour right there is golden in the hour that we get. We'll have 25, 30 kids show up for that class right there in a bus parking lot. I don't need a tennis court. If it rains, we go in the gym or whatever. I compete with after-school chess. I compete with soccer shots. I compete with the art teacher trying to make a couple extra dollars after school. That's who I compete with. So I have to know what they're doing. I check and look what their prices are. I try to stay in line with that. Sometimes we are a premium on that. Sometimes we kind of match in there. But that's who I compete with. I really compete with soccer shots. They're in my space. And they started actually where I'm from in Charlotte, and they are top 10 franchise in the country. So where I am, we do on average in weekly programs of school programs about 30 to 35 hours of after school programs there. Soccer shots in my city alone does about 350 hours. They're about 10 times bigger than I am. And it's crazy what they do. And you better believe they know what their brand is and what they're shooting for. It is all about fun. That's all that they shoot it for, and put the balls in the back of the net. That's all they do. After I've got all these other pieces, I review the results. If you're by yourself, I talk to other tennis pros. I might call Alan, or I might call somebody else and say, hey, here, this is what I'm looking at, and how does that work with me? Were the results what you thought they were going to be? Did people say that they thought what your brand was what you were doing? And am I the elite pro at a club? Am I the junior development pro? What's my role, and what's that kind of brand I'm going to? You don't have to own your own business to have a brand. Everybody at your club has a place that they fill and that they do, and you make sure that you stay inside of that. And if you're a director, you need to make sure that those folks kind of stay in that line as well too. Set realistic goals. I don't expect when I put out marketing materials, or I put out classes coming up, that I'm going to have 1,000 people that run in the door and try to buy our product or try to sign up for classes. You know, I'm not a Kardashian. I don't have that kind of pull, but I wish that I did. It would be easier. But if I put that out there and we see a dozen or so that sign up on one post, I'm pretty happy about that. And as we build, because I used to put out stuff and nobody ever signed up for anything. So I have very realistic goals on what we do. And then monitor your progress. I try to keep some Excel spreadsheets to kind of see what a post that we do and what that looks like and how many people talk about it, and how can I recycle, excuse me, how can I recycle them for other programs and other platforms. All right, so what is your unique value proposition? Okay, so with that, what makes you you? Dan, what makes you you? If you're a teaching pro, why does somebody want to come to Dan at XYZ Club? What makes you you?
They're going to have fun, they're going to laugh, they're going to play tennis, have a good time.
Okay. What about Tom? When you were teaching or at a full-time club, what made you you then?
I would say that it was organized and everybody physically better.
Especially at DC or Virginia, whatever. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that, you know, if I'm coming to Dan, I know that's consistency, right? It's consistency of what makes you you. It's consistency of what makes Tom Tom, right? And that's very important. What do you bring to the table? If I'm going and looking at a new job, or I'm currently at a club, or I'm running programs, what do I bring to the table? Do I have years of experience? I mean, I'm very proud to say that I'm a master professional, and that's what I feel like I bring that plus 29 years of teaching to the table. So hopefully people can take those years of experience, and then I can tell them that, and I can know what they're doing, and they can trust in that fact there. I think they also trust that we are very trustworthy. I'm a parent. My kids are around here somewhere, 16 and 13-year-old. But I remember when they were little tiny, and I don't care if they're now. I don't want people around them that I don't trust. I don't want people around them that aren't background certified and checked and all that type of stuff and run safe sport. So I make sure that's one of the first things when we go into schools is that we let the principal know, the teachers know, we're good, right? We come from a very reputable background, and that we're going to take care of the kids. You don't have to worry about us. And so that's one of the major things that the schools worry about. They could, honestly, and I'm sorry, it's USB, they could care less than I'm certified. They really could. But they care that we know what we're doing, we bring everything with us, and that we're trustworthy. And that helps build the brand of USPTA and serve it up in Vance County at the same time. So be it. We'll take both of those together. It bothers me they don't know USPTA, they trust me. So. How do you stand out? So how would you stand out, William, how would you stand out at your club against, say, maybe another club down the street? What makes you stand out against somebody else?
Well, if you're more knowledgeable on the board. That's a good first start, and you can educate, and you continue that, and you're always involved.
Do you make it a fact or a point when you go home from things like this to say, here's what I learned this weekend? Is that something that you share? Anybody have newsletters at their club? I know we print those a lot. Do you have a column space for that? You have a tennis corner in there? Everybody's got that? Everybody share something from this weekend that you go? Not have to be for me, it can be from anybody. But share something in there. Hey, this is what I learned this week. I went here to make myself better. You think that doesn't make a big difference to the club members, that you're putting education first? And then how do I leverage those, right? I'm very high energy. So when we get out there, how do I leverage all the things that I do? Those kids, if I wasn't for height, you couldn't tell me the difference between me and the kids. We all have a blast out there, right? And we're all jumping around and moving and whatnot. They love, a long time ago, a couple years ago, we started talking, they came up with nicknames, and they started calling me, instead of Coach Todd, they called me either called me Coach Tater Todd, but they thought that was funny, or Coach, and if anybody calls me that night, or Coach Taco, because I love Mexican food, right? And so I don't care. They can call me that when they walk in the door. I think it's great, right? And it's funny. I tried to find Coach Taco on Instagram. Somebody else had it, or I wouldn't take it down. That would have been the moniker there for sure. So, but how do we leverage those? We leverage them by being consistent. We leverage them by being the trustworthy thing. How many people come up and talk to you about, hey, I got this tennis elbow thing, or I got pulled a hamstring? I don't know a lot about hamstrings, but they trust me because I teach them tennis, or they trust me because we're out there on the court with them. So how do you leverage those in other situations? All right, so if you don't mind, take a little sheet of paper out. You can put it in your back of your little catalog there, where I got a 3-minute assignment for you. So in the top left-hand corner, you're going to put down what's your current message. If you are putting things out there, you don't have to put your personal stuff out there, but if we're putting it out there, what's our current message? And then what would be your future message? If we went from here, what would be a future message that we'd like to have, to be able to say? Oh, I forgot I got to move it. What are the current networks that we're putting information out on? And it could be what your club's putting information out on, or you personally. And then, what's your story? People love stories. So take 2 minutes. And then I'll probably call on you if I haven't already called you yet. So. have to be too in depth. You want to kind of just, off the top of the surface here, but it doesn't have to be too overly in depth. I like I'm losing her over there. I'll speak louder or faster. All right, who wrote down something? Okay, go ahead. What's your name? Seth. Okay. Fire away, buddy.
So current message, teaching individual classes, part of your test, juniors and adults. Future message, easy fun programs for neighborhoods and organizations. Current network works, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What's your story? Music business degree and now tennis pro.
Awesome.
Music business coach.
How do you put those two together?
Well, it's just a fun career change. Like I don't.
How do you bring the music background into that?
Sang during the class.
Well, I was gonna say, I do a lot with music in classes, but I think just being in that industry, sort of has a different ring to it. I remember names better even after a few years. I remember anybody's name.
Karaoke.
Just gotta have the beers during this lesson, right?
That's right. And karaoke. if you want.
Karaoke time.
Yeah, karaoke time. Perfect. Who else wrote something down? The man by the bar over here. Anybody? All right, Tom, what'd you write down?
I put down for a current message, help tennis opportunities for professional placement.
Gotcha.
Future message, maintain success and reputation.
Good.
Our current networks, LinkedIn, websites, I do a website. I do have the social media platforms.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your story is all the great stuff that you've done in the industry prior to now. I mean, that's if I was looking for a job, that would be all the stuff. I mean, he's kind of held a couple of jobs. He's kind of been like the national president for 2 terms, which is not doesn't happen very often or ever. I don't think he has all the time. So, yeah, I mean, the story is easy to tie in there too. I tell a lot of stories while I'm on court. A lot of things about other things that are going on. If I have people that I had a group of ladies at a Carmel Country Club one time, and I was walking out. And I don't know what it was. I think I had lost my lab like 2 days before, so I was still kind of melancholy about that. I was coming up the stairs, and they had just finished a match. And these women, I mean, this is $100,000 to join, and $1,000 a month in dues. I mean, it's not cheap for people to be here, so they don't have a whole lot of financial things to really be upset about. And so they're coming up there and they're grousing about the match and who they were forced to play with and the captain. I know this is all shocking news to everybody to hear this, but they're grousing about it, and it just struck me, right? And I pass them. They see me every day. Don't acknowledge me. They don't have to, but they didn't even say hello. They didn't even pull back and like pretend they weren't talking about other members. They just keep going at it. And I hit and I turned around and I walked back to them and I said, "Ladies, how are we doing?" I said, "Couldn't help but overhear your conversation." I said, "This just comes to mind. How many people are sick, laying in hospital beds, physically unable to go play tennis that would love to be complaining about the match you lost today? Just think about that." And I turned and walked back out there and I'm like, "Crap, I just got fired." Couldn't get on me, But I didn't, and they came in a minute. They were like, we're complaining about stuff that really shouldn't be complained about. We've got tiger by the tail. I don't really need to do that stuff. So I actually built a better reputation with those 4 ladies, and personally, they were pretty tough to do. Built a better reputation with them. But again, it's being personable with them and being able to tell a few stories in there. All right, what's your current message? All right, so a couple of things in here. You can be all kinds of different things, right? You don't have to all be. I'm teaching people how to hit a forehand. You might be an information gatherer. You might be pulling things about local leagues together to post. You might be talking about ladders. You might be talking about tour events that are coming to your city. So you might be an information gatherer. You might be where you have beginner tips to look like a pro, right? So you might talk to them. I teach this in Tennis 101. How not to be a newbie, right? That's how I pick up a ball. So you could be that person. You could post cool things. I will say now, and I'll say it again, video. Don't post photos. Don't, video. And if you can, there's a couple of software things. If you catch me afterward, I'll show you. Subtitles. Because people consume your stuff when they're not supposed to be consuming your stuff. And it's on mute, and they got to be able to read it. Standing in line places, sitting in here. Right, so good, right there, right, but consuming it, but so subtitles are huge because we all look at videos that have subtitles on, and there's 2 or 3 different ones that are free to use. So if you talk to me after, I'm happy to share those with you. But that could be something else in there. Are you the strategy guy? Are you all about where to move and everything like that? Am I the really analytical person? Right? Am I talking about return angles and where the ball lands and the speed coefficient and all that stuff that my 4-year-olds can care less about? Am I that person? Okay. Am I the, hey, here's the socials that we're coming up. Here's the fun tennis that we've got going on. Join us for the Friday round robin. Join us for the Sunday Heathens League, Sunday mornings, or the Wednesday night. I used to call it WOW, Women on Wednesday, right? And so any level could come out, and BYOB was BYOB for WOW. And I had, at the club I was at then, I had 2 sand volleyball courts, and I had 6 tennis courts. And we had tennis and volleyball all come out at one night. So we had 50 women out there running around playing volleyball or playing tennis, and they loved it. Didn't work Men on Monday. Mom didn't work as well. But WOW was a pretty big hit on that. So. Do I follow the Pro Tour? Am I sharing things about how Djokovic said pressure is a privilege and then chucked his racket a couple times? Am I following that? Okay. If nothing else, I'm relative to information. So. Am I doing some little parodies? I can't remember that guy's name from Saturday Night Live. Do I do some funny things in there? Please do that every once in a while. Please dress up for Halloween and do something funny for your members. They'll love that type of stuff, right? Or am I this guy? Am I that guy? I put him on this morning. Am I that guy? And I will tell you and here we've all seen something that Bill's posted. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. What does he do? Works out, right? What else did he do? That's fine. No, hold on. But listen, we laugh, but he's getting healthy, right? So that's good. What else does he do? Travels, right? He goes around and he talks to people about what? Food, right? Well, I mean, he just took a trip, and I didn't talk to him. I just called online. He's out in Wyoming. He's talking about high school tennis in Wyoming, but he is. I think there's 12 high schools out there. But he's talking to them about high school tennis. If nothing else, he's consistent. Right? He's consistent about what goes out there. So I give him a lot of kudos because he doesn't mind standing in front of a camera. I will say when we did a tennis summit together one time, it took us about 22 takes to not laugh through one of the promo things together. So, but he's out there, and that's a great thing. And he's really trying to build his platform there. So your current message and your current message and audience. Okay, who does your message resonate with? If you're inside of a club, obviously it's your members, but maybe we're trying to find people that we don't already have. I am a huge fan of, if I have your kids, I'll get the parents to play. If I have the parents, I'll get the kids to play. If I have the wife in the program, I'll get the husband to play. If I have the husband, and I don't care if the husband plays golf, I'll get him out to throw cornhole while she plays in the Saturday night social. We'll be out there together somehow. I'll get him to have a putting green or something. So who does that message resonate with? And it can change as it goes. I think one of the best qualities that you can have as a tennis pro is to change your level and your vernacular based on who you're teaching, right? One of the biggest things that drives me nuts is when people are teaching from 78 feet away, they have the same volume as when they're teaching from 3 feet away. It's different, right? And when you're teaching Dan, who's over 6 feet, or I'm teaching a 4-year-old who's 2'6", right? I need to be down their level. I need to get where they are. I need to bring my voice back. I need to be able to do those things. So I change the message based on who I want it to resonate with. Are you getting the engagement that you want? That's pretty easy. Are you you're able to pay your bills, you're able to teach, you're able to get on the court. The engagement kind of goes there. You know, I left a club, stopped running a club a year and a half ago, and I invited one of their members over to a men's night that I had in another club. And he came over there and he goes, hey, can you write down like 3 or 4 of the drills you used to do when you ran men's workout at our club? I'm not saying that to brag about it, I'm just saying he really liked what we did. I said, why? He goes, because the new guy he doesn't know how to do it. And we told him that she ran like 3 on 3, and he runs that for like 45 minutes. And I'm like, that's like way too long, right? But, you know, how does that resonate, and what's your wheel, right? Where's your wheelhouse of where it goes? Are you building, or are you maintaining, or are you losing? That's a crazy question to come out of COVID. We had 3 months where I didn't build anything or maintain anything last year. And I was telling Michelle, I said, you know, there was a month or so last year where I went and put in light bulbs on a construction site. I'm like, I'm not hitting any tennis balls, so I might as well do something out there, right? So group question. You know, you don't have to answer, but what are you posting now? It's always important to kind of know what you're posting now. I'm posting about fall programs. I'm posting about all the schools that we've got picked up. Every time we get a new school, we put that online. So I try to get one of the best things, and I'll tell you this, is, and you can do this inside of your club, or you can do it like I do when I talk to principals or assistant principals, or the secret sauce to getting to schools is the PTO. If the moms want it, it'll go in the school, I promise. The principal can say, nobody here wants to do tennis. I go, hey, your daughter plays tennis. Does she want to do tennis at school? I mean, the next day I'll get a call. Oh, well, I think we'll consider tennis. It gets done. So who do you resonate that message with? When we're posting, we try to post about, like I said, different schools that we just got into. The best thing that I ever did when I talked to a principal is when they agree to let us in, who do you know that would like this program that we did? And they'll give me 2 or 3 others, and then when I call them, hey, I talked to William over at such and such elementary, and he said you'd be interested in this program. You can get 5 pretty quick. When you have a great lesson with a kid, hey, who do you know your friends that want to come out and play tennis? I know we already do that, but we probably don't do it enough, right? You can really try to grow pretty quick like that. And then where are your potential clients? If you're at a country club, they're at the swimming pool. And I know it's just a terrible thing to have to do, but get off the court after summer camps and make a lap around the pool and just say hello. Hey, how you doing? Hey, hadn't seen you on the tennis court in a while. Never seen you on the tennis court. Are you a member here? You know, walk around the pool a little bit and talk to them. And it's a 5-minute lap. You go and then go eat lunch, right? But that's potential clients that are right there under your nose. All right, so determining your market platform. I'll go through these, and we already know all these. These are pretty easy as far as, but what networks work best, right? Facebook's a behemoth, right? So a lot of people on that. YouTube, you can post on both. Who owns YouTube? Huh? Who owns YouTube? Google. Okay. Who owns Instagram? Facebook. Don't know. All right, they're on their own. So, anybody on Snap in here? All right, so my daughter and I, if you're on Snap, we have a 353-day streak going on because we have a little bet going on that I can get all the way through high school. But it keeps us talking. She's 13, and at 13, I'll do all I can to try to get her to talk to me. So if that's the way we can do it, I have a streak every morning with that. We keep that going. And for all you old folks, a streak's something you send them a picture every day. They send you something back. So, and it goes away. It goes away as soon as you get. She can save it, but it goes away pretty quick. So, Twitter. This is, for me, is kind of fallen out of favor. Not a lot of people that I'm talking to are getting their stuff on there, and I don't either that much anymore. LinkedIn is very important. You said you had a LinkedIn page. If you don't have a LinkedIn page, go make one. You know who's on LinkedIn? General managers, other directors of tennis. That's who's on LinkedIn. And they talk to each other. Get on LinkedIn. You don't have to post a lot of stuff on there, but get on there and start connecting. I have 29,000 connections or something on LinkedIn, and I probably have about 7,500 that follow the blogs that I post. It took me like 4 years to do that. I'm not saying you do that today, but it takes a while, right? But People keep up in there. But turn the notifications off. You'll get loaded up when you don't do that, for sure. Blogs are still great. I don't know. I talked my club into putting a blog onto their website, but they always had to prove what I put out there. But that's an important piece in there because you want the eyeballs to be able to go and see that. The important part here is no matter what you do, each one of them talks about the other one. If I'm on YouTube, I'm talking about, hey, go visit us on our Instagram channel and see this. If I'm on Facebook, I'm posting every link that I can that points it to something else. You want all of your media connections to do this with each other. All different directions. To get them to be in there. Anybody know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? Have you heard that name before? Gary V. It's V-E-E. Write the name down. You need to go do some homework. Gary V. or Gary Vaynerchuk. If you're not a fan of obscene language, you're not going to like him very much. He's a New Yorker, and he's very proud of that. And he will, at a high school function, drop some words you probably shouldn't, but anyway, he is extremely knowledgeable on social media. Extremely. I go and look at his stuff all the time. All the time. If you take any piece of what he does, you'll be magnificent, right? But Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk. And podcasts. Anybody, I know Bill was doing a podcast. You still do that at all or not? You kind of dropped that off.
Sold it.
Yeah. Podcasts are not so much around as much anymore. All right, building relationships. So having a little systematic approach to that. Be human. When I'm online, I try to follow other brands that I like, that I admire. Definitely all the racket brands. Anything from other contemporaries, other tennis pros. You can DM accounts to interact. You can send a direct message to be able to interact with them. I do that with other people that are in the industry for sure. There's no need to chase followers. There's a thing called like for like. I'll follow you, you follow me back kind of thing. If you put information out there, people will find you. It might take a little bit, but they'll find you. Okay, and so you're worried about choosing relationships instead of chasing followers. Create great content. The first stuff you put out there is going to suck. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be bad. But it gets better. And you look back what you posted a year ago, it looks a whole lot, what you're doing now looks a whole lot better just from experience. I mean, think about the first lesson that you taught. And somebody gave you a $20 bill or whatever they paid you after that first thing. My first group of lessons that I sold 5 lessons for $60, 5 one-hour lessons. And the woman wrote me a check for $60. And I thought, I've arrived, right? I just made $12 an hour teaching these people, right? I was 18, 19 years old. That was great money. I was happy to do that, great content when you're out there. Answer all the comments if people are talking on your page. Answer all the comments. And hashtag mining. You can pull up a lot of things. If you want to talk about people that are talking about tennis in Nashville, in a certain zip code, you can hashtag all that and find people that are talking about that in this area. Okay? You find them by GPS, so it'll tell you who's talking about that in a nice little area there. This is social media like 105, not 101. But if you really want to get particular about it, this is a calendar of stuff that you put out, right? So this would be club info that goes out, not necessarily Twitter, but it goes out on Instagram on a different day and time. Not everybody sees your stuff that goes out. So Instagram's a little more evergreen, but the other things that go out, you might have to send it out 3 or 4 times to get enough eyeballs on it. When you post stuff on Facebook, you're only going to get about maybe 15, 20% of your friends are going to see that. The most active ones that you interact with, they're going to see it, but most won't. And you really can't. You wouldn't be able to get through it. You wouldn't be able to consume it if you saw everything that everybody put out there. But I'm not this particular, but I do kind of think about what I want to put out in a couple days and what I need to kind of work on to do that, and then what platforms. And then I use a thing called Hootsuite. Okay, Hootsuite is the bomb, and it's free. Okay, you can schedule stuff out from here till Christmas or till 10 years from now. You put it out there, you put when you want it to post, where you want it to post, and click it, and you're done. So you can sit as you're watching football on Sunday, do all this stuff on your computer on a Sunday afternoon in about an hour, and your whole week or the next 2 weeks is done. You don't have to worry about it. It's just done. It's automated. And if you post something then, you can copy and paste and post it somewhere else. So it gets really, really quick. It's called Hootsuite. 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 You can, depends on how many accounts. If you get to where you've got 10, like there's people that are social media managers that have paid accounts that they're doing a lot of people's accounts. They may have 50 that they're doing each one, but then they can do that and they're posting on that, and then they're out playing tennis on a Tuesday when people look like they're working. All right, successful media content ideas. I'm going to go through some of my fun ones here, but again, I'll give you at the very end how to contact me. I will send this to you. I'll send you a PDF of it if you want to. But just a couple that are out there. Humor, people love to laugh. Inspiration of somebody that has worked hard at the club and tried to do, and now they won their first high school match, or they won their first league match. Something like that. Those are inspiration, or something that you've done. You worked on trying to get such and such certification and you finally made it. All those are good things. Behind the scenes photos of the business. Have somebody snap a photo of you working hard at your desk trying to get ready for the next week of lessons and stuff. Things behind, or getting all the dead balls out of the baskets. It doesn't have to be rocket science. I mean, it's easy stuff. Some fill in the blank post. I was at my best when, or I played my best tennis at this age, or something like that. Those fill in the blank posts are really good. And then photos are great, videos are great. My only thing that I say on that is that I rarely ever, unless the parent is standing there, do I take a picture of an individual child. I might take a picture with the kid and I'm in the photo and the mom took it and we're all good on that, and I say, you're good with me posting this? Yeah, we're all good. They don't care if I'm posting and I got 20 kids at tennis camp. They're good, they're kids in that photo. But if you get to where it's one-on-one or something like that, make sure that that parent knows what's going on, because the last thing you want to do is to have that phone call or that email or that text saying, why is she up here? I don't know how they do swim team stuff. I'm happy for tennis, but I would not. I'd be real careful about posting anything that has the kids in it. So. All right. So one of the last few things we're going to talk about is what I call PAIR. It's a pretty easy little acronym that we've kind of put out there. So I adjust my game because, holy crap, they are a lefty. I don't believe that, but I'm hitting to the wrong side over there, or they have great drop shots, or you're playing Alan Jensen, who has amazing drop shots, and I start running a whole lot more. And then I repeat the good things, the adjustments that I made. All these things are applicable to tennis as they are in there. And there's no perfect post. So those girls that were taking the perfect picture in front of the heart wall, probably the dozen before would have been just as fine. But it all had to be exactly perfect. So. And I'll throw this in there. I always talk about this in every presentation. This is a Tony Robbins thing. As much as you want to think about you're going to reinvent the wheel, there's 3 ways to make more money. Raise your price. Get your current clients to buy more frequently. You take a lesson on Tuesday, take a lesson on Thursday, or find new customers. There's only 3 ways to make more money. That's it. So it doesn't matter what business you're in, tennis or golf or publishing or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's the only 3 ways to make more money. And that's a Tony Robbins thing. And I love thinking that because we always try to make it sound more complicated, but that's it. I say this a lot on a tennis court, but also say this a lot as far as social media, especially when you have one of your ladies try to poach a ball that she has to jump for and try to hit it, it's going to hit the back fence. And so just because you can doesn't mean you should hit it. Doesn't mean because you can hit it doesn't mean you should hit it. Just because I can post it online doesn't mean that I should post it online. Just because I can be anonymous and I can gab with somebody. I mean, I kid with Bill, but he kids with me too. What's your quote about the cul-de-sac one that you always get me on?
Oh, you're the 5th sexiest man in your cul-de-sac.
You missed your photo up here earlier. So, yeah. That was 2015. I'm probably lower than that now. So. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. And then think before you post. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Right? I'm a huge fan of being positive and uplifting and inspiring. There's no need to throw negative out there. There's enough. Life's hard enough as it is without us making it any harder. And if you don't believe me, share a beer with me. I'll leave it last 3 years. So. All right. Love you guys. Anyway, here's how you can get a hold of me. The only thing that's different, and I kept it, I couldn't get tennis 5150. Who knows what 5150 stands for? It's a term that means like you're crazy, right? You got a 5150 on the loose. It's like so I'm tennis crazy. That's what that means. But, so it's 5150. I couldn't get that on other stuff, but you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can email me, or you can call me or text me, whatnot. I'll give you the whole presentation. I'll send you that sheet of ideas is 35 content ideas. I'm happy. I'll send you that PDF of what you want to look out there. I'm happy to share it. I'm happy to, send me a link and say, hey, did this look bad? Look good? What does it look like? I'm happy. I want you guys to make more money, right? I'm trying to figure it out for myself, but I don't compete with you guys, right? And if I did, I still want you to make money. I mean, there's enough out there for everybody to have a piece of the pie. And if we grow the pie, guess what? Our piece gets bigger than that pie. So I'm a big fan of that. I never try to steal business from other people. If somebody says, hey, William said I try to shit my forehead like this, I'll say, let's see how it works. See, maybe he knows something that I don't know, right? And I'll let them figure it out. I'll never throw shade on other pros.